Hello and welcome to Agrestal Vestige, where we are vested in all things Agrestal. My name is Tom and I'm here with you again this week with another blended Scotch whiskey review. This week we're going to be covering a very common one you see in almost any place you go, which is Dewar's White Label. Now, Dewar's, as most of you know, has been around a long time, and they're in the class of the oldest distilleries that exist. John Dewar and Son, this is their white label. This says True Scotch, and it's been bottled at 40% ABV. Excuse me. Anyway, it says, like I said, it's True Scotch, and that's largely accurate because it's blended in the old style form of blending. You know, many years ago, everybody drank blended whiskey because malt whiskey wasn't really a thing. I mean, it was around and people partook of it occasionally, but most people, including royal families, preferred their blended whiskey. This flavor profile is very indicative of some of the earlier Scotch whiskies because of the way it's been produced and matured. Anyway, it's a light amber color. I don't know if there's much caramel A150A coloring in it. I'm sure there's some. Now I do think Dewar's uses pot stills. I don't think they're using column stills. Perhaps a grain portion of this, between the grain and the malt mix, by being a blended whiskey, perhaps is produced in column stills, which is real common, but I don't think the malt portion of this is. Anyway, on the smell, that traditional Scotch, you know, honey, a bit of peach, a bit of apple. You do get a bit of cut hay and that wood note. It's definitely coming through. All right, on the palate. Vanilla, fudge, a hint of smokiness. You get toffee, some the toffee, the honey, that oak comes through real heavy on the palate. And the finish is not real short. It's a decent length finish. It's sort of herbal, like fresh herbs, and you get that real nice, rich honey sweetness behind it. I'm going to add just a little bit of water. You don't add much because it's at 40%. I'm going to add maybe 2 milliliters. Now this is John Dewar's one of the core ranges, and it's the bottom of the core range, the white label. They do a 12-year, 18-year, and I think a 21-year, and there is even some expressions older than that. But this is the run-of-the-mill you see in most hotel bars and just general bars around the world, really. Most off licenses or package stores, liquor stores, wherever you're at, is going to have this in stock. So it's very accessible. As far as a price point, this is a slightly larger bottle than the average bottle. But an average size bottle of this is going to run you anywhere around $32. 32 pounds. 32 euros. Wherever you happen to be. Alright. Now it's set for a little bit after adding the water. It's mildly viscous. It's not heavily oily or silky in any way. It does have the tears, or the legs as they're called, and they run fairly swiftly down the side of the glass. But there's no off notes in this whatsoever. You do get the grain, but it's a well matured grain. It's well blended into the malts, so it doesn't pop out. There's no type of hotness to it. It doesn't. It's not off-putting in any way. I mean, it's quite a lovely dram. Okay, after the addition of the water, it's a little bit sweeter, and it's also followed by a bit of lemon zest. There's a bit of citrusy zest to it, leaning toward lemon. The honey sort of melds in, and right behind the honey you get a real fresh peach, like fresh chopped peaches in a bowl. That sort of flavor. And a bit of fresh cut grass. The heather's still there. The toffee is still there. The hint of smoke is there in the background, but it's very supportive of the flavor profile. You still get the fudge. Actually, the addition of water does bring out a few more flavors, and it enhances the flavors that were there to begin with, and it also lengthens the finish a little bit. And in that finish, it's more lingering in the herbal aspect of it, as well as the lemon zest. And that's what I think about this. I mean, it's a lovely all year round Scotch. This doesn't hint at any particular season, although most of the flavors in this are summertime flavors. But I could easily see this being enjoyed year round. So, what am I going to give this for a blend mark? I mean, because everything is so well blended together, there's no off notes on this. The flavor profile it's somewhat simple. I mean, there's not an array of different flavors, but there's more than a lot of blended whiskeys. I think it's quite well rounded. It's well blended together, and I think it delivers a very enjoyable dram. And because of this, I'm going to rate this at about an 86 out of 100. And I think that's a good mark for a blended Scotch whiskey. I don't know. Tell me what you think. You know, in the comments below this video. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of anything in the future coming from this channel. And until next time, this is Tom.